Sorry guys, I'm just like messing around. Hello everybody, I hope you're all well. So yeah, I've just been having some issues with this live streaming shit. Just trying to mess around and see, like, I thought we would have been able to, like, I don't know, but we're back to just a regular live streaming, I guess, because it's not letting me use Prism at the moment. It's like saying, oh, you can't do YouTube or something. I don't know. Don't know what's going on, but yeah, can't do that at the moment. So looks like we're just back to the same old YouTube thing. I don't know if there's a way I can, I don't know, this green screen thing. It was like, I have to, like, I don't, it's not showing every, like, picture in here or something. I'm just wondering, like, how I can just try and find something I could use as like to background or something, but I don't think there's really, um, yeah, I don't know. I'll have to just find some, so yeah, I don't know. Right. Whatever. So, how are we doing, guys? Hope you're all well. We're doing some workout, so you can see we're getting some definition coming in. Just kind of just been working out a lot, just trying to do that. But yeah, it's just I don't even know if it really makes a difference to my viewers, to be honest, with all this bullshit that I've added to it. So I'm just kind of like probably not even gonna make any difference anyway. I should just kind of, yeah, just do my thing, and yeah, I just don't think it's gonna really matter that much in the grand scheme of things. Yeah, I don't see any comments coming through, so I don't know if like people are not chatting yet. So there's not a lot of people here, so just, yeah. Let me just uh, sort this out real quick. Yeah. So let me just change the title up real quick. Um, all right, there we go. Yeah, sure, it did fall off. Yeah. All right. Let's just sort the description out, and then we'll get started. So I'm gonna do a workout, and yeah, see how we get on. Really, do a bit of yeah. Try. I'll do the lot spread like that, and that. Anyway, shall we get started then? So yeah, just Say hello if you're watching. But yeah, it's just not really going to plan tonight. But yeah, I've just got to deal with it, I guess. But anyway, let's just get straight into it then. Just see. Maybe I should just like try and warm myself up a bit and just. Sometimes I'll get into it and I'm like, actually, you know what? I'm actually doing all right. It's just when you're like, at the start, it can be a bit hard to get into it. Try and kind of get that energy going, and yeah. I did do some like running earlier and stuff, but yeah. Hello, Sapphire. How you doing? Thank you for stopping by. Hope all is well. Hit that like button. So I'm just gonna do a few. There's some like just some jumping jacks. So, hello, Brittany. How you doing? I hope you're doing well. If anybody's new here, make sure you subscribe. I go live every day, so it'd be great if you guys can. In fact, I should probably put a message to tell people to subscribe or something. How do I do that? What's this? Chat filter top messages. Oh, that's hang on. Chat filter all messages. Let's do that because I might be getting some messages not coming through. So yeah, I hope everyone's well. Yeah, so I guess I'm not gonna do the green screen at the moment. Okay. Thank you very much, Sapphire. All right. So yeah, so where's everybody tonight? I don't know, it's maybe because I've started late, but yeah, I had to just mess around and start up a new live because I'm having some issues. It was like this Prism thing. I don't know. The thing with that Prism thing, it does take a lot of battery, so it is quite when I'm putting all that stuff into it, like all the like putting the graphics into it. It just sort of like just adds a lot of you know what I mean. Anyway, thank you for the 3 likes, everybody. I'll just like my own live then, whatever. From here, so anyway, so feel free to ask questions. Got 6 people in the house. Hello, all 6 of you. Welcome into the live. I hope all is well. Hello, Glitch. How you doing? So yeah, we're back to just like the regular live thing. For some reason, I couldn't get the Prism thing to work out. I'm doing fine, thank you. We're gonna do a workout, but I'm just trying to warm myself up a bit. And yeah, not that I need to be warmed up in this friggin' heat. It's been a bit warm today, so yeah. But I mean, it's just trying to get that energy going. It was mad. I just bumped into the guy that I saw at the workout park the other day. So that was, just another one. He was going to the shop to go and get a ginger drink. So yeah, I should maybe try one of them actually, but they're kind of expensive though. So that's kind of what puts me off some of these fancy drinks and stuff, because oftentimes they're expensive. Yeah, it has been warm, but it was a bit cool earlier when we had this like kind of. I thought it was gonna go stormy, but then it just kind of passed over. It was getting like kind of really dull and like it started to have a few spits of rain. I thought, oh, maybe this is gonna be like. I thought the heavens were gonna open, but it was a false alarm. Ginger ale drink. I was talking about just like a ginger. I don't know if it was like a ginger shot or something like that, like a health boosting drink. I was talking more about like that. You know, you get these like. Well, I saw one that was a ginger. I think it was a kombucha drink, which is yeah, it's like a probiotic thing. If I remember, I think I've had kombucha before, but it's um yeah, you can get them in different flavors. Sometimes they're like ginger, sometimes they're like, but yeah. Anyway, I hope all is well, everybody. It's like those like fermented foods and drinks and stuff. You know, it's good for people who have like, you know, say if you've had like been through like antibiotics and stuff, and then they reckon like if you do like probiotics, it can help to repopulate that bacteria. But the thing is that you also need fiber to kind of keep them. Yeah, they sound expensive. Yeah, a lot of it is quite expensive. Yeah, it's just that's the problem with a lot of the health stuff. Really, it's expensive. You know, when you're getting all these like superfoods and what have you, it tends to be more yeah, more expensive, because I think part of it maybe it is genuinely more expensive, but I don't know. I think part of it's just because of the marketing of like, if it's seen as healthy, then it's like they can get away with charging more because they know that the people who really want it will pay for it, whereas your average person ain't gonna be buying it anyway, so they wouldn't buy it even if it was cheap. So, but their target market would buy it anyway, you know, because the kind of people who care about their health are gonna pay for it, kind of thing. Out of my price range, unfortunately. Oh yeah, but they say what price can you put on health? You know, it's like people, you know, prioritize things oftentimes other than their health. But I know it's difficult nowadays because of the cost of living and all that. I used to be inspired by Andrew Tate. I took what he said personally, and I couldn't cope. I had to stop watching. Yeah, Andrew Tate, I think, is just one of these grifters who's just trying to, you know, kind of, you know, sort of like what's it, you know, kind of, you know, he's taken advantage of like this whole kind of, you know, young men crisis with the, you know, all the loneliness and all the men who feel lost. They don't feel like, you know, they have a purpose. So he comes along to save the day. Well, not really, because he's just full of shit, I think. I mean, he has some good points on things, but I don't like agree with the whole kind of hustle culture mentality and the, you know, you've got to, you know, work 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. I mean, I agree that you should work hard and all that, but if you listen to his philosophy, then it's just going to end up burning you out, and it's going to drain your soul. Like, there's no soul in it, is there, of just hustling to do whatever, drop shipping or whatever. I don't think that's for most people. Now, if you really enjoy that stuff, fair enough. But who's going to get up in the morning and think, oh yeah, I want to do some copywriting this morning, or drop shipping, or affiliate marketing, or whatever hustle? Like, who's going to wake up in the morning and be like, looking forward to doing that? Yeah, they might look forward to making money, but they're not actually going to look forward to the actual process of doing it. That's where I disagree with these sort of things, because even if you end up making less money, is it not better to actually just focus on something you actually have a passion for? Maybe it's maybe it's like helping people or something like that. I don't know. Or maybe it's creating art. Whatever it is that you have a passion for, that people want to buy, versus just trying to find the new meta for getting rich online. It's like, who cares? It's because what does it matter if you're rich, but then you're just miserable most of the time? You know, because you're spending so much time working, then you don't have much time to enjoy it, and just, you know, it's just really like, I don't get it. It's just, yeah, it's been a lot of like brainwashing going on with like all this kind of cult mentality of like, you've got to work 25 hours a day, 8 hours a week. At 25 hours a day, 8 days a week. That is just it's just not realistic to be. It's like you've got people like Gary Vee, for example. He's another one of these fucking. I just can't stand these kind of people. It's like they're all just hustle, hustle, hustle. You know, you've got all these people, Alex Hormozy, you've got these, you know, who else have you got? You've got Iman Gadzhi. They're all, it's all the same kind of shit to me, but I don't know, whatever. Let's get into this. But yeah, Andrew Tate's just fucking. I don't know. I just can't be doing with these people. It's just because it's just it's all a cult to me. They've got all these kids now, like feeling like they're a loser if they've not got $1 million in the bank or something. You know, if they don't have, you know, a mansion, a Lamborghini, a Bugatti, whatever, then they're a loser. That's what they're growing up thinking. And we need to, I actually think that people should be looking more into, instead of looking so much into making more money, let's look into how to need less money. Because it's the dependency on the money that is keeping you stuck in the matrix. To talk about the matrix, but yet, you know, that it seems that they're actually trying to get you even more into it by depending more on money. Because trying to get you to, you know, want all these material things which you need to rely on the system for. To me, you're just another slave, because you become a slave to your own customers in a way. Whereas if you're living life purely on your terms, then it gives you a lot more leverage of things. And it just, yeah, I tried looking for ways to make thousands of pounds. Right. Hello, Mum. How are you doing tonight? Thank you for the likes, everybody. So I don't know what's going on with my Prism Live thing, but it's just not been working. So whatever, you know, it is what it is. Anyway, if anybody's new here, please can you subscribe? Right, I'm going to do another round of the push-ups and squats. So let's do it. Yeah, it's just, yeah, it's like, I understand, obviously people are struggling now. People are desperate for a way out. They don't want to be working some shitty job for fuck all. I get that. Nobody wants to be doing that. But
But you know, buying some shitty fucking course isn't the solution. The solution is, like I said, I think the best thing to do is rely less on money, living a minimalist lifestyle, because once you've done that, then you have leverage to be able to be like, okay, now I can afford a house, or now I can move abroad because I've started to make some money online or something like that. If you can make, say, a few £100 a month online, you can go you know, a lot of places in the world, a lot of like developing countries that only cost about maybe 500 to £1,000 a month, if that. And if you wanted to really be minimalistic, that you can actually live on less than that. I was watching this video that in some countries, even like places like Georgia, apparently you can actually live in there for like just a few £100 a month. Especially if you can get yourself like a roommate, you can just split the costs. You can find someone else who has the same kind of mindset and, you know, goals as you. So, you know, you can always look into that, but it's up to people what, you know, what they want to do. But something that people need to look into. I'm not saying that people should just straight up leave the country, research it first, but there is options out there. And yeah, so I think we should look at relying less on money, because it's the money that's kind of keeping us stuck in this system that's just it's just grab you by the balls kind of thing. So I'd say just that the you know, what the system has failed us, so we don't owe the system anything, you know. So we shouldn't be trying to, I don't think we should be trying to go so hard to try and make it in the system, because it's especially in the West, like I said, you know, it's the West has become very hard to actually get anywhere, you know, with rising cost of living, and it's rising everywhere. But you can get yourself an online income, then is there really any point staying in the West when you've got so many different countries you can choose from, that the cost of living is so much cheaper? I mean, chances are one of these countries might be suitable, but like I said, just research it first. I mean, there is options out there, and some people even go to the extremes. There was this channel who does where he's actually built his own log cabin. It took him years to do, but he's built his own log cabin, and he's got, I think, over 1 million subscribers. I can't remember his name, but basically, it goes to show that, you know, if you really are dedicated, then you can get out the system. And it's like, to me, that is really like what leaving the matrix is all about. You know, it's, you know, relying less on the system, as least amount on the system as you can. And of course, we might still rely on it to a little bit. Like thing is, to use internet, you need to pay for it. So of course, you're going to need to have some money, you know, if you want to have, you know. So it's about trying to be able to just take advantage of it as much as you can, but at the same time, be minimalistic and not rely on it when you don't need to. Like, that's what I'm saying. You know, it's just try and focus on just like I said, being minimalistic, not you know, spending money on pointless things that you don't need. We've all been told that we need to have the latest gadgets, we need the latest clothes. Maybe look at, you know, for some people might need to learn how to make their own food, for example. If you're spending £10, £20 a day going out for meals and stuff like that, you don't need to do any of that. So yeah, or for example, if you drink coffee out, make your own instead if you have to. I'd say try not to drink so much coffee, especially later in the day. If it's in the afternoon to the evening, it can actually possibly mess up your sleep somewhat. So if you're going to drink coffee, I'd say only drink it in the morning, because coffee, I think caffeine has a half-life of like 6 hours apparently. So that means it takes 12 hours for it to get out of your system. So think about that. You know, if you're going to bed at like 10 p.m. at night, let's say, then that means that you shouldn't be drinking coffee any later than 10 o'clock in the morning. So yeah, I mean, some people, I understand, but they use it as a boost in the morning if you feel groggy or whatever. But I'd say, though, if you feel like that, then maybe you need to look into sleep hygiene and trying to boost your energy naturally. But yeah, because maybe it's a sign of there's something wrong there. Because a lot of people will try to find some kind of band-aid over the problem, and it's not necessarily going to be a long-term solution. It's like with a lot of the medications that we get, there's a lot of them are just short-term fixes as opposed to long-term solutions. You know, because they want to keep you on these medications. You know, they keep you on the, you know, like for example, like people go on blood pressure medication, for example, and sometimes you might need that. But at the same time, it's like, you know, if you fixed your lifestyle up, then maybe you might not need that. And who knows what kind of effects these medications might have in the long run. You know, everybody's body reacts differently to things. So anyway, let's carry on. All right. Hi, Reluctant Gamer. How are you doing? Hope you're well. What is going on with this chat tonight? It's so dead. Yeah. So I'm just kind of having a rant about this whole, you know, like the whole hustle culture thing, yeah. Join my Hustlers University. Yeah, that's not good. I don't know what's going on there, Clark. Apparently, King Dale Clark was saying that you're not King Dale. I mean, to be honest, I think you're all just trying to mess with my head, so whatever, you know. Yeah, just let's carry on. Anyway, hope everyone's well. So, what's everybody been up to today? Hit the like button, guys. Okay. So there's 5 here. I guess they're all busy or something. All right. All right. Okay. Whatever. We're gonna move on to some other exercise, I think. Might do some abs next. Hello, One Dark Rep, how are you? So going back to my old thing, because for whatever reason, the Prism app ain't working. Probably wasn't the best having all that shit on my live anyway. And it was going out to other platforms and they weren't even really getting hardly any views anyway, so I don't think there's much point, to be honest. So how have you been today anyway? Anyone getting laid in the... Oh, God. Anyway. So, yeah. Looks like it's a nice evening, but... I don't know, it's... I thought earlier it was going to be a bit stormy, but... So I felt like it was like it got this breeze coming on, and then... It went really dull at one point, and then I thought, oh, it started to kind of rain a bit. So, yeah, I'm all right. Thank you. Just doing a workout. So we'll just move on to some more stuff. We'll do some abs, I think. Anyway, unless I do some biceps, I don't know. I'm just kind of like, yeah. All right. Just do this. All right. Hold on a second, guys. Yeah, I'll just using this for now, whatever. Anyway, I'll be fine. This is what I mean, minimalism, you know. I won't make purchases unless I absolutely have to. That's why I would just use friggin' water bottles in a bag. Because I'm like, unless I absolutely have to, I'm not paying for weights. I just don't see the point. As long as I can still get stuff done, then I just don't see the point. Right, we're doing these now, so just gonna try and flatten it out though. It's just yeah. All right. So I'm just gonna get rid of it for this one. It's, anyway, right. Thank you for the likes, guys. Keep hitting that like button, guys. All right. Oh, fuck all people in here as usual. So much for having over 2,500 subs, you know. Fucking pathetic. Yeah. All right. All right. Let's continue, shall we? So how are we all doing tonight, guys? everybody okay? Come and talk to me, somebody. Please just say something. Fucking hell. It's like I'm just talking to myself on here, you know? Why do I even fucking bother? I need to start doing my fucking travel shit, you know? Favorite gym machine is a vending machine. Oh, God. Well, it's probably going to take me a while to get through this workout, but it's worth it. So I've got 7 people in the house. How are you doing, everybody? Hit that like button, guys. That would help out, hopefully. I don't know what's going on. We're usually at about 10 likes by now, but yeah, it seems like the last couple of lives of likes have gone quite slow. I've got apparently 12 people in the house now. Welcome in, everybody. If you've got any questions you want to ask, put them in the chat. We're doing a workout and here to answer questions if you've got any. So thank you for the 5 likes, guys. But yeah, so so I do, you know, stuff about, you know, health, fitness, that kind of stuff. So if you've got any questions, anything you want to know, I'll try to answer it, but I can't answer everything. I don't know everything, so if only burning calories was as easy as burning my full wage on gym gear. Oh yeah, gym gear is, well, doesn't have to be expensive. Gym gear like what? I mean, doesn't have to be expensive, does it? Anyway, right, let's carry on. So, gonna just keep going with these core reps. So, yeah, right. I'll just Yo, what's up, guys? 16 in the house. Well, okay. Welcome in, everybody. Is anybody going to chat? But yeah, burning calories ain't that hard. Walking is a good way to burn calories. Just walking all day, you know? Just take a friggin' audio book or something, or some music, and just walk around, you know? You burn off quite a few calories, you know? Before you know it, you've burnt off a few hundred calories. You know, walking's, you know, quite easy. It's low intensity and it's highly recoverable. So it's not like you go out and, you know, you go for a sprint or something and you're going to feel tired. Whereas you can walk for hours probably and still have energy to do stuff. Because the problem is if you go really hard with exercise and then you feel tired afterwards, that could actually somewhat cancel out it. You might feel more hungry and you also feel more tired. So it might actually counteract weight loss through this thing called the compensatory effect. So going at a lighter intensity, zone 1 to zone 2, is gonna probably more optimally burn fat. So yeah, so if you're trying to burn fat, then walking or jogging is probably a good idea, because you can do that for longer periods. Whereas as you get more intense, the more unsustainable it becomes. Frugal. I try to be quite frugal, and I don't know. Some people might think of me as a bit of a, like tight or whatever. I just don't see the point in spending unnecessary money on things. I'm just like, I like to kind of be conservative with my money and just like use it when I need it on the things that are absolutely necessary. But yeah, I don't want to be wasting it on, what's it called, frivolous spending. Come on, guys. Why is there like nobody else talking? Yeah, speed walking is probably like a good sort of like balance between kind of cardio and like I say, it's quite sustainable. But jogging is probably quite similar, but some people might find that running is like bad for their joints depending on how heavy you are. So just, if you're quite heavy, then it could be quite impactful on the joints. So you've got to find what's sustainable for you. But cycling's a good one because of it being low impact, or swimming or rowing as well. So anything that is low impact, I would recommend. So yeah, everyone likes and share. Hello, Nessian. Hope you're doing well. Hi, Obama. Hello there. This is Obama, the former U.S. President of America. Hello there. It's the current President of America, Donald Trump. What dancing? What's that? Oh yeah, can anyone do the moonwalk? Because I remember someone was trying to teach me the moonwalk, and you do like where you like slide. You go like take one foot off. So you like, hang on, you go like, wait a sec. And I'm trying to like remember how you like do that. Something like that. It was like you go put one foot in front of the other, lift the other one up, slide back, and then you sort of do that. Like it's like if you do it fast enough, it's like seems like you're doing a moonwalk kind of thing. So anyway, how old? I'm 29 years old. I've reversed aging. I've just tried a new technology. That's why I look so handsome, so young. I've tried RFK Jr.'s new technology. It's so tremendous. I have a new technology that reverses the aging process. It turns you back to being youthful. It turns you back to being a young person again. Make America young again. The health of the American population is so terrible. We've got to do something about it. It's so bad. It's so bad that the young men are taking testosterone instead of improving their lifestyle. They are taking testosterone. Hello, Fight Central. What's the live about? We're doing a workout, but we're also just chatting as well. So welcome in. Hope you're doing well tonight. Just doing some just moved on to do a bit of core. And then I also need to do some back and some biceps and some triceps as well. So yeah, also maybe a bit of shoulders as well. Just do a full body workout. So yeah, but we're just kind of having some fun, really, just trying to I hope everyone's well tonight. Share this out if you can. Sharing is caring. Dancing for fitness is great. Yeah, dancing is because I was seeing that what was it called, Silly Gym Rat. He was doing dancing videos and he was saying how dancing is cardio. I guess it depends on how intensely you do it, but I mean, sometimes it could be quite intense. Yeah. So I remember, talking with someone and they were saying how it's like it can be quite like a lower body workout, but there's a lot of like upper body generally involved, like, because it's mostly like, you're moving your legs and stuff, and you're moving your whole body, but it's like, but yeah, they say it can actually tire out your lower body or something. But yeah, anyway, I hope everyone's well tonight. Feel free to ask questions. So yeah, I'm going to do another set of core reps, I think. But hit that like button, guys, and subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, we just recently hit 2,500 subs, so we're just going to keep trying to, build, and hopefully, we can build some kind of community here. It's all about just having fun. Like I said, my message isn't about people hustling until they drop dead or they just become soulless and they don't have any passion or anything. I promote following your passion, even if it doesn't make as much money, because at the end of the day, why do you need all that money? Is all that money worth sacrificing, to sell your soul for it? Your soul is priceless, so why would you sell your soul for any amount of money? It's crazy how people do that. And they call that success, It's funny how they call that success, selling your soul. Anyway, get the live shirt out, guys, if you can, please. Try to come on in here and just provide a platform. So I want to try and build it up. So whatever you can do, if you can super chat me, that would also be great, because that helps with just getting this out to more people potentially. Because the more that people support the channel, the more the channel's going to grow, the more YouTube's going to promote it. Because at the end of the day, YouTube wants to make more money. So in order for YouTube to make more money, we need to, we need to help them out with that, don't we? We need to help YouTube to, make more money, I guess, in order for us to get pushed out. So, yeah, so if you can even just send a couple of quid here and there, it's up to you. I'm not begging or anything. It's just I'm saying that if you want to see my channel grow, you want to help out, and you want to keep encouraging me, but it'd be good if you can help out, because every little helps, and I would really appreciate all the support. So, as little as you can, it's up to you. I'm not here to like I said, I'm not here to beg or anything. It's just it's up to you at the end of the day. I understand if some people are struggling at the moment, but yeah, if you could consider, sort of just maybe becoming a member. It's like as little as 99 pence a month. But yeah, just or just just at least like the live or something. That's the least that you can do, or share it out or whatever. any way that you can support the channel that helps it become more successful, then that's good enough. All right. So the 8 people watching right now, come and maybe say hello or something, or just like the live, you know, just yeah. So let's move on. So I'm gonna do some. I'm not sure. I might do just some kind of like back exercises. So I might do pulse rows. This is just pure body weight stuff. So just doing this. Look. And to make it a bit more challenging, try to squeeze at the top. That's going to help to get more of that contraction on the muscle. All right. So yeah, how are we doing, people? I hope you're all well. All right, nextly we're going to just use the jacket and we're going to do the this thing. Yeah, that one's good for the lats. It's kind of like a pull up, but it's yeah. Thank you, One Dot Crip. So just trying to like, I don't know. It can sometimes be a bit disheartening when you know, sometimes you don't get the results that you're looking for, but sometimes things don't happen in the time that you thought they would or wish they would. It's about having that patience, really. But yeah, it can be difficult sometimes because you're like, you can get a bit frustrated, you can get a bit disheartened, really. But at the end of the day, you just gotta stick at it, you know. All right, let's continue. All how's everybody doing tonight? Where's everybody? It's so dead in here. All right. So, yeah, I'm gonna probably move on to some biceps next. Yeah, we're already like an hour into the live, so yeah, I want to do some bicep curls, I think. So I'll use the bag for that, I think. So who's still in here? So I might do the bicep curls, might do some shoulders as well. So what do you guys want to talk about? It's up to you. Just feel free to ask questions, whatever. Yeah, hit the like button if you haven't already. And let's see how the live's doing. 175 views. It's been a lot worse. So yeah, it's been better lately, I guess, a little bit, but they're just not really sticking around though. Like they'll just kind of scroll. It's hard to get people to engage with the chat, you know. It's hard to get people to want to come and say hello at least or something. They tend to just ignore me. Whatever. It is what it is. Probably just gonna do some bicep curls next. So the other week I decided to like up the weight a little bit in the bag. I think I put an extra bottle in it or something because progressive overload. Because progressive overload is one of the key sort of like principles of bodybuilding. If you want to build muscle, then over time you need to increase the weight. Otherwise, you're just going to end up having to increase the volume to like a point where it just becomes ridiculous and it's just going to take you all day. So to get the most out of it, like to keep increasing the intensity of it, so that way you're not having to keep adding extra reps, because if you're not getting to failure, then you're just not, or I'm not saying you have to get to failure, but you're going to have enough volume then. I don't always go to failure. In fact, this workout, I'm not going anywhere near to failure. I'm just doing some volume tonight, but yeah, I do occasionally. Sometimes I'll just kind of decide, I'll just see how far I can go on a certain set, like I'm doing the push-ups the other day, seeing how many I can do. But I don't always go to failure on the workouts and stuff. But as long as you're getting enough volume in, it's all about creating stress on the muscle, and you'll do that through enough volume or enough intensity. So I personally don't really like going out all the way to failure. It's just, unless you've got like exercises where you can get to failure within about 5 to 10 reps, then I don't usually like to go all the way to failure, because it just, that the last few reps become very like grindy reps that you have to just, it's very difficult to kind of just keep going at that point. But especially if the lactic acid starts building up, and I mean, I've got this beta alanine actually, so I'm going to try and see how that goes, because they reckon it might actually help with delaying the onset of that burn. So it helps you to go at a higher intensity for longer without getting that burn. So yeah, because that burn will end up fatiguing your muscles before true failure in a lot of cases if you're going like high reps. So it allows your muscles to actually be the limiting factor and not the actual metabolic stress, if you will. So yeah. But I certainly don't see the point in doing 500 to 1,000 sit-ups every day. In fact, I think sit-ups as an exercise probably isn't going to build a whole lot of muscle unless you're doing it with enough intensity. Like there is variations like incline or whatever, decline, whatever you call it, of, you know, where you're, you can get these benches where you can like, do the sit-ups at an angle. You could also add weight to it to add resistance. But personally, I feel like crunches I just feel like a better bang for your buck in terms of a core exercise. I usually would do like a pulse at the top of it. That way I'm getting more of that I'm getting some of that isometric contraction. And I feel like isometric contraction is actually underrated as a muscle builder. A lot of people say that isometric contractions don't work, but I feel like in certain exercises it does. Yeah, in things like planks, maybe not so much, but I think isometric contraction is a fundamental part of strength, and it's you've got isometric on one hand, and then you've got dynamic strength on the other hand, which is strength through a range of motion. So like say you're doing like a push-up or something like that with full range of motion, that would be like what they call dynamic strength, as opposed to like just holding a certain position like in a plank or a side plank or something like that. So it's just there's certain isometric holds that you can do. Then you can find how to make it challenging for yourself. Even like body weight squats can be made more challenging by adding an isometric hold around halfway down. So for example, if I do a squat, then what I would do sometimes is I'll go like that, and then around this kind of position do a hold there, and you might find that just with your body weight that's enough. But you can always add a little bit of weight if it starts to get too easy. There's also different variations that you can do, like one leg squats and stuff like that. So gotta find what works for you, really. I'm not here to like try and show people what to do. People are gonna find that out by themselves. I do different exercises, and people can, they can choose to follow along if they want, but they can adapt it to their own training or whatever. But it's up to them at the end of the day. I'm not here to lecture people. I'm here to let people, kind of just see what I'm doing and maybe get some inspiration. But if they don't, that's okay. I'm not some like one with egos that saying I have all the answers, because it's all very individualized when it comes to training. And everyone's got their own goals. So maybe for some people, sit-ups are good if you have a specific goal to try and do as many sit-ups as you can. But I would say in terms of muscle building, if you're just doing straight up sit-ups, then probably not the best for building the abs. I just feel like, for me personally at least, they're not the most efficient. You would have to do tons of reps of them. I just don't really feel like there's enough resistance, especially once you get good at it. Maybe for total beginners, it might be a viable exercise, but I'd still feel like you'd probably be better off for the most part just doing crunches. You're just going to probably save yourself a lot of time. And because for some people, they need to be quite time efficient when it comes to exercises. So it's best to pick exercises that give you a good bang for your buck, if you will. And so just keep chatting away, guys. This is for you guys. I'm just share my thoughts. And I'm not here to tell people what to do. And there's people that come in and be like, oh, like, what's your qualifications? And they say, oh, do you think you should be, talking, telling people, about, health and fitness? Well, I'm like, yeah, because I've studied this for years and I have a certain level of knowledge about this stuff. So, yeah, because there's people who have qualifications as a personal trainer who've just gone through a few weeks of training. Prior to that, no, fuck all. I think I'm probably more qualified to talk about health and nutrition than some of these guys that have just gone through a few weeks of fucking training to then say, oh, well, I've got a PT qualification, Like, it means fuck all. Like, and people need to stop appealing to authority. It's like when people will be like, if you talk about science or whatever, and you have a certain opinion on a certain topic of science, right? And someone says, oh, well, what's your qualification in science? What degree do you have? And it's like, what does it matter? It's like, oh, well, your opinion is not valid because you don't have a degree. But you might know more about certain things than they do, And even if you are wrong about a lot of things, this is still a chance you might be right. They say, in it, that even a broken clock is right twice a day. So remember that, that you have to just kind of, just because, somebody doesn't have a certain qualification doesn't mean that all of what they say is invalid, And it's up to people to discern that information for themselves, And of course, you could just put out a disclaimer and say, I don't know everything. This is just my opinion. But some people just want to, like, I don't know, put people down because they don't have the certain qualifications. And assume that people are right because they have the qualifications, which is also wrong. So we have to take each thing on its individual merit and not be like, oh, well, the person doesn't know anything. It's like, well, just because they don't, even if they say have a track record of being wrong, doesn't mean they're wrong about that, I think we should always hear people out, whatever they've got to say. It's almost like a form of censorship in a sense, where you're just trying to block out them because they don't agree with your worldview or something. Yeah, I noticed that my stomach kind of gets a bit bloated after like a big meal. So you see my stomach now, it's like, it doesn't always look like this. It's just kind of a bit, get a lot of like water after a meal. It's just the amount of food that I eat. It's just, that's one of the downsides where I have to like eat so much food and it looks like this and it's kind of, yeah, well, that's just kind of like food digested in there still. So anyway, where is everybody? Yeah, so apparently on 223 views. Okay, we'll just keep the chat flowing, guys. I mean, like, why is there like nobody talking? I mean, I don't know. It's like I've just been talking to myself. Hang on a second. About that. Hello, Batman. How you doing? Yeah, I don't bother with filtered tap water. I mean, I should probably. Hello, Skyline Sky. I don't know. I'm just like, I don't usually do. Hello, Julie. Hello, Shadow. Hello, Fake Horse. JLD, how you doing? Oh, thank you, Julie. Sorry I missed your comments, guys. It's just, yeah, giving people ideas and stuff. So, but it's just, Yeah, I missed some comments because the chat just froze up. I didn't realize. I thought they had just gone dead because sometimes that happens, and I'm like, I forgot to refresh the chat. But oh well, that's the problem with this frigging YouTube live thing. You know, that they need to sort their shit out because it shouldn't be doing that. Like the chat should just keep on coming up, but then sometimes it just stops. And it's not like the chat's super busy either. It's they need to sort that out. I shouldn't have to keep on refreshing it all the time. Anyway, so who's still in here then? We've got 7 people in the house. I hope everyone's well. Hit that like button, guys. Come on. Come on, we can do better than 6 likes. I don't know if there's messing up with the likes at the moment, but I'm going to try doing the biceps a little bit differently this time. So what we're going to do is we're going to do a different angle. We're going to, yeah, try it this way. So, right. Right, then we'll do another, just up this side. Alright, what's going on in the chat? So, hello, Jonathan. How you doing? Yeah, well, I mean, like, stretch, I mean, yeah. Like, sometimes we'll do that, but it's, the way I see it is, like, if you're doing a stretch, then you either won't be able to do as many reps or you won't be able to lift as much weight. So, there is a trade-off of doing stretch partials or whatever, or not even partial, just stretch part of it. I mean, like for example, with push-ups, say for example, you won't be able to do as many reps if you're doing full reps, but I don't know, or you won't be able to load it up the same if you're doing weighted push-ups. Like you would be able to add a lot more weight on if you're doing partial reps. So I don't know if like the actual, if it cancels that out. Hello, runner boy, how you doing? So what are your thoughts on that? Because, in terms of like full range of motion, getting the stretch versus going more intensely on the top part of the movement, like say, for example, doing a certain movement just to like I mean, you could say it's not efficient or whatever, but if it allows you to load it up more, it's one of those things that you could argue there's more of a risk of injury if you're having it loaded up more. But then again, is that because I don't know? Is the top part only is pointless unless it's to overload on weight? Yeah, like if you're going heavy, then I mean, I remember like I think it was something that I remember Kino Body was saying that that stretch mediated hypertrophy doesn't work. But then again, should we really trust what he has to say? Because I feel like he could be a bit of a grifter as well. But I don't know. It's just there's been all these conflicting opinions on things such as stretch mediated hypertrophy and all that. But the main thing is like stressing the muscle to a point where you can still recover from it, but yeah. Let's try it with like this. So I could do it like that actually. Yeah, there we go. So that'll give it a bit more stretch. Negatives, I mean, it depends, like, because if you're trying to get stronger, then, I mean, negatives, it's like, I don't know. I'm hearing all this stuff on, what is it? What's it called? Eccentric overload or some shit. I mean, like, how does that even work? Like, for example, if you're doing a lat pull down, then what you're supposed to do, like, you have to do the concentric part of it, unless you just mean like you're focusing more on the negatives. I don't know. There's certain exercises I'm like, how would you just do a negative of it? Like, well, it has to go up first for it to come down or something. I don't know. So I don't know what you mean, but yeah, is it this whole eccentric overload thing? Whatever. I mean, but does that really like equate to strength in a concentric phase? Because would doing negatives help you with a 1 rep max, for example? Say, for example, you want to get stronger at a deadlift or a squat or a bench press. Would you then just like, hello, Mr. K? Obviously, you can only do the negative on certain movement. Yeah. Yeah, there'd be like, yeah, you mean like, say, like, it depends, like, how long it takes you. So, like, if you're doing, like, a push-up or something, you could just do a long-ass negative. I was watching this video where they did, like, a friggin' push-up that lasted for minutes. It was crazy. Like, yeah, that they just had that kind of willpower to keep it going and just go over a really slow, grindy rep on the push-up. I'm gonna see if I can do the fingers push-up. Let's have a try because I've not done that for a while, so we'll see if I can do it. So it looks like this. So you're just using like your fingertips like this. All right. Yeah. I used to do 60-second pull-ups. Blimey, that is crazy. Yeah. Well, some say you should do about 60-second. They say between 30 to 60 seconds a set should last, but sometimes I'll do a set and it only lasts for like maybe 15, 20 seconds. It just depends. But that might not be, optimal for muscle building, but I reckon if it's over 60 seconds, then it's more muscular endurance at that point. I mean, it's just, it's not necessarily going to be, I mean, in terms of like time efficiency, is it really the best for muscle building? But I remember like Bioneer was saying that something about how we only use the fast twitch muscle fibers when we need them. And he was saying that when you're doing like high rep work, that what happens is you exhaust the, once you exhaust the slow twitch fibers, then you will work the fast twitch fibers as like a last resort. So he was saying that was the benefit of like the high volume training, but I don't know how true that is. But what do you think about that? Is there some use for like the high volume style of training in terms of hypertrophy? Some people say it doesn't work. So was that not true? Like that's what he was saying, but in my kind of like thought process would be that he was saying that the body would prefer to use slow twitch fibers and only use the fast twitch when necessary, kind of thing, because I don't know. I mean that's what he was saying, but I don't know. He's obviously got some knowledge on that kind of stuff, but so what you're saying is that the body would use fast twitch first and then slow twitch. You mean as in because like you're gonna have the fastest reps at the beginning? Because I suppose that makes sense, because because a lot of times you'll see him doing the weights really fast at the beginning, and then towards the end of the set it slows down really quickly. So then that would be more slow twitch, I guess. Yeah. Well, I actually saw a video on what was it? Pygmy. I think he was doing some experiment where he was like only training the fast twitch fibers. So he only like did a few reps on each exercise, like explosively. But then couldn't you just train slow twitch by purposefully going slow all the way through the reps? Like say going slow, concentric, and then like just keeping it slow. Would that not be a way to prevent, if someone, for example, didn't want to build fast twitch muscle fibers for whatever reason, would that be a way to overcome that, do you think? That's not how it works. All right. I remember someone was telling me that machines don't train slow twitch very well. Hello, Richard. How are you doing? So I've just been doing this workout thing. So I'm just, just kind of debating over like fast and slow twitch fibers. And I mean, I'm not like an expert on that sort of stuff, but basically, there was this guy saying that the body would use slow twitch until needed, and it would start to recruit more of the fast twitch. Well, he was saying that when they do it, if you're doing a sprint, but I'm like, well, why would you use slow twitch in a sprint? Because when you first start a sprint, you're using the, is it called the ATP PC system, I think it's called, which is like the fastest twitch fiber system, which is the, and then you've got the glycolytic system, which is for like, say, longer sprints than 100 meters. So 100 meters, it's mostly just like this ATP PC system. And then it's the glycolytic system after that, which is where you get that burn. Yeah, so that happens around 200-300 meters in. There's only a small amount of slow and fast twitch fibers in with the rest of the fibers. It's a broad range. So you mean as in like there's different, well, when you're talking fast twitch fibers, which ones are you talking about? Are you talking about the ATP PC fibers, which are like the ones that will be used in very explosive movements? But then you've got like the type 2 fibers, which are like your glycolytic fibers, they call them, which is what would be used in, say, like, for example, longer sprints, as well as probably more like middle distance runners would also have quite a few of these types of fibers. But then when it comes to more endurance, that's when it becomes more like slow twitch fibers, which are more for like sustained effort, like on a marathon. You wouldn't want a lot of fast twitch muscle fibers, from what I understand, for a marathon, because they burn out quickly. So that's what I understand about that. But beyond that, I don't know a huge amount. Okay, Piers, you're just a fucking, like, like, fuck you. You just come here, fucking make your snarky ass fucking comments. It's like, if you have a disagreement with what I'm saying, then tell me what I'm doing wrong, because, I go into fucking Mark's chat, and he fucking times me out in there, like, without me even fucking doing anything. So if you fucking try to whoever this fucking cabbage guy is, I don't even fucking know, because all this fucking secretive and saying you're going about fucking cabbage, I don't even know who this fucking person is, and they keep on fucking obsessed with this guy called Cabbage for whatever reason. I don't know what this person's done or who this person is, and now he's trying to compare me to him. But it's like, yeah, if you got a problem with what I'm saying, I mean, I'm just trying to learn here. I'm trying to, because I'm like hearing stuff on fiber types and I'm just trying, because there's conflicting stuff about it, and I'm trying to get to the truth. So, but anyway, there's only about 2% of fast twitch fibers in your body. Are you talking like ultra fast twitch? Because from what I understand, there's two types of fast twitch fibers. Like you said, there is different types, but like in general, you've got type A, or type 1, which is like your ultra fast, like in a 100-meter sprint, which is that ATP system where you're like going all out. And then after that, you've got the that glycolytic lactic acid system, which is up to maybe about 400 meters, and where you can like really sort of go all out. But when you're going longer, you would have to kind of like slow it down a bit, because you could not sustain that level, because that lactic acid would just fry you. So yeah, the 800 meters and beyond, let's say, you'll notice that, yeah, they're slower. They'll still use some of that type of fibers, but they're also going to be using some slower twitch fibers as well, because then the oxidative system is going to become more of a thing for that, because it's for more sustained effort, like I said. So, you know, if what I'm saying is wrong, then please explain to me. So yeah, not gonna have this fucking Piers Deroux fucking guy trying to make these snarky ass comments and just say that, oh, there's no better than cabbage. Fuck off, you know? Like, you're obviously not here for an intelligent conversation, are you? When you're just here to, you know, to try and fucking badmouth me in my own fucking chat. Like, I had this fucking shit the other day with some fucking so-called personal trainer trying to fucking be all fucking smart ass and all that. You know? If I'm wrong, please explain to me. You know? Because I'm a fucking dumbass, you know? Come and explain to me, you know? Otherwise, get the fuck out. You know, otherwise I'll just kick you out. You know, it's just, if you have nothing good to say, don't say anything. I mean, I'm not going to be right all the time, but surely I'm right on some things, you know? So all this fucking guy does is fucking try to, you know, make snarky comments, and I'm not interested in that shit. I'm just like, yeah, I'm here to try and, you know, sort of, I'm here to share knowledge. I'm also here to learn as well. That's what it's about. You know, it's a give and take kind of thing, right? But some people, I don't know, that it's like they just want to feel kind of, I don't know. Is some ego shit? I don't know what it is. They like to put others down to make their ego feel better. It's a way of, by trying to make snarky comments to make you feel better. Just lame shit that, you know? Get a fucking life. I don't know why that fucking Gravity Core Fitness has you as a fucking mod. Like, what is your fucking problem? You always had a fucking problem with me for some reason. And I'm sure that guy fucking claimed that It's not that you're not right. I think you're just adding too many things into the right information, making it not so right if you get that. Yeah, but like, if people can like explain to me, like, then yeah, maybe I'm overcomplicating things. I do that sometimes, but which can muddy the waters. I understand that, but I'm just trying to get to the bottom of like, yeah, in terms of like high volume training, is that effective? In terms of is training with like, you know, because some people will try and push it like it's some kind of, you know, almost like some kind of, I don't know, it's like this kind of, I don't know, it's like this religious thing about, you know, high volume training. And I remember Biney was saying about slow twitch muscle fibers, and when they burn out, they use a fast twitch. But I'm thinking to myself, but I don't know, like your body wouldn't really sort of like work like that. So I was just going off what this guy said. I mean, I was just kind of wondering what you thought, and I'm not gonna pretend to know about things that I haven't properly researched. Yeah, that's what I was saying before about progressive overload. And but I think that like adding in too much volume might be overkill, and just kind of is not effective if it's, you know, low quality volume. But yeah, because at a certain point it's like, okay, well, if you're just training all day, then is that really effective, you know? Because you might as well just try and save time by, doing more kind of, like I said, adding more weight or using more complicated, not harder body weight exercises. So this Piers Darus guy was, the guy that was telling me that I need to use weights. I mean, sometimes I use weights just as a kind of accessory, but I don't actually need to use them if I don't want to, and can still make progress. It's all about understanding the science and the anatomy of the body, understanding the functions of the body, why certain movements work a certain body part. For example, a bicep curl and things like that, how, certain body weight movements can recreate that, whether that's through using rings or whatever straps, or doing just under a bar, for example, and doing the bicep curl using your own body weight as the resistance. As long as you can make it to where it becomes harder over time, then it can still work. Yeah, with push-ups, it's just like, I mean, sometimes I do full range of motion, but like if I'm going fast, then I'll just kind of, I can't really do full range of motion. It's just, I mean, I could, but I would probably not be able to do so many reps. I like to do, sometimes I like to just see how many reps I can do, but most people ain't going to do full range of motion on it when they're doing that. But like if I'm going intensely, then it's hard to really do full reps. Like they usually do shorty reps, if you're going for intensity. But yeah, but I've obviously made progress. And the thing is, I've made more progress than most of these fucking people in the, a lot of people on steroids even, dare I say. That might sound egotistical, but look at most of these guys on steroids. They don't even have that impressive of a physique after years of training because they don't go that hard or they don't know what they're doing. So yeah, I appreciate that. Yeah, maybe you could argue it could make a bit of difference, but I don't know. I mean, it's like I feel like some people can overcomplicate things a bit, and as long as you're getting like enough volume. Why am I shutting these? I should actually. That might be better because you can see me better. But I'm just gonna do the body weight lateral raises. So I'm gonna use this actually. I'm gonna use the jacket. So watch this, guys. So I'm gonna try and do this. Yeah. So get the you can use a towel or whatever, but I'm gonna all right. All right. So I probably won't be doing much more of the push-ups tonight, but why have I turned the light on? Not even really thinking straight at the moment. Anyway. But yeah, you're always going to get these people with their opinions, and it's just like all the unsolicited advice out there, people trying to tell you what they think you should do, and it's like, you know, but I appreciate constructive criticism that's actually helpful, but a lot of times people will just try and, for example, when people start trying to give you advice on how to look better, that's something I just feel like is unnecessary and just doesn't actually help anybody. Because all it does is it just makes you feel more inferior, you know? It's not good to be doing that to people. Like, imagine if like, say you said to someone, or if you was the person that someone said, oh, I think you should get some cream to put on because it'll help with your acne scars. It's like, well, thank you very much, because I wasn't really, you know, sort of conscious about it until you fucking said it. You know? It's like people will try and point out things that you weren't even conscious about until they mentioned it. Like they're trying to give you advice on something you didn't even want advice for. Now they've made you feel conscious. Now you feel like you want to go out and fucking... It just pisses me off when people do that. It's like, but at the same time, they're probably doing that because they're a fucking loser. You know? So you got to just remember that if people are doing this, it's probably not something that you should take seriously. But it can be hard sometimes to tell if people are being serious. But you got to think to yourself, well, if these people were genuine, they probably wouldn't be saying shit like that, because if they're that fucking superficial, then what kind of person is that, you know? What kind of person is that superficial to tell people to, you know, to do something about, oh, you should get a certain haircut or whatever. It's like, fuck off, I'm not interested. You know, what people telling me to do, you know? Like, mind your own fucking business. Just because you think it might look better doesn't mean that I think the same thing. So they can just kind of make you feel like, I don't know, just whatever. So this is what you get when you put yourself out there online. You're always going to get somebody trying to, I don't know, give opinions, you know, things you didn't even ask for. So I just kind of rant over, I think, but yeah, it can be a very toxic environment on YouTube with all these people who, whether they're making snarky comments or just trying to put you down. Sometimes they'll do it in a kind of not so obvious way. They'll try and act as though they're trying to help you, but really they're just trying to put you down. But you got to remember that, you know, it says more about them. See, obviously, if I didn't know anything, I wouldn't have any results to show for it, unless people want to accuse me of being on steroids. Well, someone said in the chat, I don't know if they were being serious. Probably not. They're probably taking the piss. I don't think anyone in their right mind would think I'm on steroids unless they're that kind of black-pilled that they think that you can only gain like 20 pounds of muscle naturally or some shit. Like, you know, you can obviously build a good amount of muscle naturally, especially if you've been doing it for like, you know, a few years. So I'd say just anyway, let's just refresh this a second. Hang on. Oh, wait a second, guys. Yeah, some people aren't genuine. They like to troll. Yeah, exactly. Some people act like they're genuine and then they'll switch up. And there's some trolls that'll just kind of try to infiltrate chats. And then it just leaves you with a bad taste in your mouth. And yeah, well, I just find at the moment I just don't need to do that. Like I said earlier, unless I feel the need to spend my money on something, I just don't do it. Like I'm trying out this beta alanine more just for like muscular endurance, but I'm just gonna see how it goes. But I've obviously had some results just from the style of training I've been doing. So you can see my arms have filled out even just in the last couple of months. You know, it's like, so obviously, you know, I'm showing that, yeah, because my starting weight was about, I think I was on about something like, I think it was about 160 pounds just before I started with the training. This was a few years ago. So I was very skinny at that point. My current weight is just over 215 pounds. So the vast majority of that gain is muscle mass. So obviously I'm a tall guy, so it's gonna, you know, I'm gonna build more than the average person, but yeah, like, how is it feeling? I don't really notice anything yet because you have to load it like creatine. You have to like, it can take about 3-4 weeks apparently for it to fully saturate. So yeah, so I should be able to feel something. I don't know. I'll have to maybe try like the rowing machine and see how that feels. But I'm ideally going to try and get my time down. Is the idea? Because even if it, you know, if it helps me get like say 10 seconds off a, you know, 1,000-meter time trial or something, then I feel like it's worth it. Because I'm kind of like a person, I want to like make sure I'm, you know, doing everything I can to optimize performance. So yeah, so that's what I want to do. Really, just try and really just focus on the performance. And yeah, anyway. So how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you're all well. $14,000 steps is good. Yeah, so that's building up to like your hike up the mountain of, yeah, Kilimanjaro. Anyway, hit the like button, guys. But yeah, just so many egos out there, you know. And sometimes I have a bit of one myself, to be honest with you. But some people, they really sort of, yeah, it can turn me toxic sometimes because, like, when you're dealing with all these snarky comments and like just unsupportive kind of people who just want to try and put you down, then it starts to make you become kind of, it can make you become sort of bitter a little bit. Now, I've got to not let it happen, but, you know, it's hard. You know, when you're seeing all this and then you're not, it doesn't feel like I'm getting that many supportive people, it can demoralize you a bit. Who's his chat? What do you mean? I'm going for a run again today. It felt really good yesterday. I did a bit of a run today, but I didn't go very far. Oh yeah, before that, I also did a few laps just up and down the stairs. And I did feel like the lactic acid. But they say it's not actually lactic acid. It's actually hydrogen ions that are responsible for that burn, is what they're saying now. Because they thought there was actually lactic acid doing that. But actually lactic acid is the fuel source for the muscles. So when you're in that sort of, more kind of intense training. But there's hydrogen ions apparently that are causing that burn. So what you do when you take beta alanine, apparently it can help buffer some of that. Hi, Knuckles VR, how you doing? Welcome in here. Hope you've had a good day. So yeah, so what are we doing, people? Is everybody okay? Yeah. I don't know if anyone's ever done parkrun. I've never done that. I was actually going to go to it, but never got round to it. I think it's because they start quite early in the morning. I'm like, it's a bit early for me. Like, it's like they start at a friggin' 9 a.m. on a Saturday. I don't know why they do that. Like, to me, it would make more sense if they did it later. But then again, maybe in some cases, if they did it later in the day, on certain times of the year, it might get too hot, like in the summertime. Then maybe doing it in the morning is better. But at least do it, I don't know, like 10, 11 a.m. or something, because I feel like that would be more accessible for people because a lot of people ain't going to be up that early. If they say like they might have to have breakfast, they have to like do their chores or whatever before they get there. So is it really accessible for people? I don't know. I don't know really. It's just oh yeah, that's true, isn't it? Yeah, all the blood work for free. Yeah. Anyway, let's continue, shall we? I think I'm gonna do some of the tricep dips, as they call them, which are these. So just do a few reps of these. But yeah, that's good that you can get blood work for free. Get your friggin' blood work! I'm partnered up with Transcend! Get your friggin' cookbook! So what does everybody think about Greg Doucette's main gain approach? I mean, some say it doesn't work. Some say it does. Maybe it depends on each individual and how much body fat you have. So there's obviously a lot of different variables, but he says if you're around 15% body fat, that you could start building muscle slowly whilst not putting on any body fat by being just around maintenance calories. But I don't necessarily think that that's necessarily viable for everybody, but it's like, I think for a lot of people, they might find that they can do that. It depends, genetics and stuff. But yeah. there's a lot of variables that you have to take into account, really. That like everyone's got their own. Naturally, some people find it easier to build muscle at, you know, higher body fat percentages or whatever. I'm not saying you should just get fat, because some people I think just get too fat. It's an excuse to get fat. I think for some of them, it's like, oh, I'm bulking, that's why I'm getting fat right now. It's like, well, maybe you just finding it as an excuse just to eat as much as you want, because some of that is inevitably going to turn to fat, and you don't need to just build a bunch of fat just to gain muscle, you know. So there is truth to that. It's like, I would just say like trying to lean gain, and for some people that might mean just they might put on a slight bit of fat over time, but if the majority is muscle, then it's going to be easy to come off if you need to cut down the line. That's what I'd say. Just try to, you know, be somewhat kind of careful with your diet and all that. Don't eat a crazy surplus. But yeah, I mean, I would say probably a surplus is, you know, going to be optimal. But he was saying that, oh, well, maybe one day you'd have like 100 calorie surplus, or one day you might be in 100 calorie deficit. I mean, I don't know. I mean, it kind of makes sense in a way, but yeah, it's just some people reckon that it's not that effective. So you just got to find what works for you. Everybody's different. Like it's this whole one size fits all thing that's I think is kind of a problem with like fitness, where they try to give out advice to everybody and it might not work for some people. But yeah, so anyway, so yeah, one dark rep still there. So I don't know, I just don't want all this drama nonsense. I just don't want all these people trying to, I don't know, talk shit basically. But then again, sometimes I've done that where I've, you know, kind of like crossed a line or whatever, but you have to be like able to own up to that and be like, I made a mistake. But some people, it doesn't seem like they're able to do that. They have too much pride, too much ego to ever admit when they're wrong. And people need to drop their ego and be like, stop pointing your fingers at people, because every time you point your finger at somebody, 3 fingers are pointing right back at you. So just keep that in mind, you know. Focus on your own business. And yeah. And if you have a problem with something that somebody says or does, then you need to, you know, sort of have a word with them, you know. You don't need to be nasty. Just say, hey, I disagree with something that you said. It's like, for example, I was saying something that, oh yeah, there was something that I said that was wrong, and I said, yeah, that was wrong, because it was, yeah. Oh wow, my short's up to like 1.6k views now apparently. So yeah, it's been getting pushed out. Anyway, well, that's it. You know, we learn from our mistakes, so it's important sometimes that we're able to make mistakes. So yeah, but the thing is, though, there's certain mistakes that we shouldn't be making. For example, getting ourselves injured probably isn't a good idea, is it? You know, so they say something like, what is it? I've heard this saying, average men learn from others. Average men learn from their mistakes. Great men learn from the mistakes of others. But I think there's a time to actually, like, you know, experience that. The true wisdom comes from experiencing that lesson, because, you know, you can't say for 100% certainty about something until you've really experienced it for yourself. I would say. So yeah, it's just we have to be able to, like I said, just to experience the ups and downs of life, and you might have to go through some heartbreak in life to then learn from that, and learn what you've whether that's a romantic thing, or whether that's even a family member or a friend betraying you or something like that, that you go through that as a lesson. That's like, okay, this has happened to me. Now I know going forward that I need to do differently. A strongest man stands up for himself. A stronger man stands up for others. Ben the cow. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, that's yeah, that's it. Because there's so many like pussies who will just kind of like not stand up for anything. They'll just. It's like, I don't know. It's just, you got this whole kind of. So I was watching a video about it, like the whole cost of living and all that, and so many people are just letting the system just like completely screw them over. Like they're letting the system be like dictate to them, like, oh, well, this now costs this much. The same product now costs twice as much as it did a few years ago, but people are accepting that. But it's like, why should we accept that? Why should we accept that kind of bullshit? Like, that is unacceptable, right? All right, let's just do this. Hold. I'm gonna do a minute. Do you know Carl Pilkington, the comedian? I've heard of him. I haven't seen any of his stuff really, so I might have to look into it really. Yeah, it's famous, yeah. That was over a minute, so that's more than my record, but yeah. So that's a good one for like your rear delts and your upper back, I think. So that's something I've been trying to work on, is strengthening that up. Because yeah, a lot of people might have imbalances where it's like they're more front dominated, front delts. They say like if you have good, like say rear delts and upper back, that can help with posture and things like that really. Oh really? Yeah, it's like you can have that kind of, yeah, total. It's like, for example, you've got, like the Vine brothers, yeah? You've got Tim Vine, who's this like really funny comedian, right? And then you've got Jeremy Vine, the fucking boring fucking TV presenter guy, right? It's like, hello, you're listening to Rise. Hello, you're listening to like live on Jeremy Vine, and yeah. Yeah, the most boring guy in the world, you know, kind of. That sounds almost as boring as William Hague, the former Conservative Party leader. You know, has this kind of weird sounding voice. It's quite boring. And yes. Hello, Mum. How you doing? Yeah, so anyway. Yeah, so looks like they stopped pushing that video out kind of now. It's on 1,600 views, so they're still going up a bit. So yeah. Looking smashing. Oh yeah, I won't deny that. Anyway, but yeah, sometimes I like to take my time through the workouts and stuff and just have a chat with you guys and just. But anyway, if anyone wants to support the channel, then you can always send a super chat, or you can become a member. It's entirely up to you. But yeah, the TikTok live yesterday with Richard was pretty dead, to be honest. Hardly anybody in the chat really, other than Haley. But yeah, it was just nothing like what it was like the other week, really. But yeah, I'm just gonna focus on YouTube. But for some reason, that Prism thing weren't working tonight. I couldn't get it to go live, and it was, I don't know if it was some glitch or what, but I don't know. It was acting weird. But maybe it's better to just do this because I noticed that my battery dies quicker when I do it the other way. And I don't think I need it anyway. It's just kind of gimmicky. I just thought maybe it would, you know, attract more viewers, but I'd rather people that are attracted here for me rather than some kind of gimmick anyway. So whatever. Anyway, hit that like button, guys. We've got 11 likes. So just keep the chat flowing, everybody. All right, so I'm gonna try to think what I should do next. I might go down to just some rail later and just do some more stuff, but I've done most of what I need to do. But yeah, I'm not like professing to know everything, you know. I'm not some kind of know-it-all that's trying to be all smart and all that. I can't be doing with that kind of stuff. Arrogant kind of asshole people, you know, who just think they know everything and they try to lecture you and just it's like I said, I don't mind constructive criticism if it's done in a way that seems that they actually are just kind of looking out for my best interests. But oftentimes it just kind of appears that it's just for their own ego and just feel better about themselves. So yeah, I don't know, whatever. Yeah, it seemed like it was getting a bit stormy. It was like windy and stuff, but it didn't stick around very long. I thought it was going to get pretty bad, but yeah, it didn't get that bad. We just had a few spots of rain, I think, and then it just kind of eased off. That Strictly Psychic said he got blocked. Yeah, because he's a fucking prick. That's why. What's he doing? Going on your fucking channel now or something? Is he for real? Did you go and look at his channel? Because it could just be a fucking fake. Just trying to be all fucking... Try and be a fucking smart ass or some shit. You know? I don't know. Can I ask a question? What's the question? Why don't you just ask then? You know? Like, there's a Q&A. You should have seen, like, it says Q&A on the stream, so... He goes natties, but not very liked, to be honest. Right. So there you go. Like, so it's not like some just random guy that's shown up there. And I thought it was just some kind of random guy that was shown up and like, yeah. So is he actually a fucking personal trainer then? Or is that just some kind of bullshit? Because I don't really even believe that he is one. Because what kind of person who's a personal trainer for over 30 years tries to kind of act like some smart ass in the chat, unless they've just got that big of an ego that they, I don't know. Why don't you build muscle when walking every day? Because it's just not enough mechanical tension, and you're not fatiguing the muscles enough to cause any enough stimulus. Even running would be, unless you're going at a very high intensity. Like if you're sprinting, in some cases that might build muscle, especially like in your lower body. But walking is going to probably do jack shit, unless you could argue it could indirectly help build muscle by sort of helping with recovery. Too much volume, yeah. It's not quality volume. You can have high volume, but it has to be quality enough. It gets to a point of like diminishing returns. So yeah, because I was talking with Runner Boy about this and the whole thing of training to failure, but and all the thing about like what is it, causing muscle tears and all that. Yeah, you want to cause muscle tears, but there needs to also be enough mechanical tension. There needs to be enough as well as time under tension. So you got those things, then that's a recipe for muscle growth, progressive overload and all that sort of thing. Yeah, progressive overload. I mean, maybe if you like was walking with a, like say you're doing the farmer's walk, that can build muscle, but just regular walking ain't gonna do shit unless you're that unfit that you're like, maybe walking would be like, imagine someone who's like say 500 pounds, walking would be very difficult for them probably. Sapphire says no drama in stream please, and thank you for positive vibes. Only no drama is forbidden on the stream. Right, okay, thank you. He does stick up for Natalie implicitly against the trolls, so he's an ally over there. He is a bit full on, I think, with his culture though, right? So what's going on? Yeah, he is. I think it's his culture that he's just a little full on. So he's a person. So is he a personal trainer? Is what I'm saying. Yeah. What is he called? Strictly Come Dancing. Is he I'm gonna call him Strictly Come Dancing. From now on. Yeah. Anyway, I hope you're all well. I don't know. I'm just kind of like, messing around at the moment, but I might do some pike push-ups. So I'm going to do it with a wide angle. So like that. So anyway, so yeah, that's try and get some like vertical pushing in there. Because say like if you only do horizontal pushing, that doesn't really equate to vertical pushing strength. So let's say you only did push-ups in the horizontal plane, then you might find that you have some weakness when it comes to vertical pushing. So yeah, but yeah, there's not about drama here. We're just trying to keep that out of it. But I have a feeling that Strictly Come Dancing guy was a troll. Hello, Anton. How are you doing? Thank you for joining me tonight. But yeah, because it's just who does that shit, you know? Who's going to try and like be like a kind of smart ass like that, trying to come up with these words like power, strength, and all that to try and kind of catch me out and be like, oh, well, you don't know what these mean, so therefore you can't give out advice or anything like that. I'm just, because these words are kind of like, there's technicalities to it. For example, I've only recently learned the difference between flexibility and mobility. And I couldn't really explain like it properly. Like, for example, like mobility is to do with like, say, for example, if you're doing like a deep squat or something like that, and you go really deep to like arse the grass, that's like a mobility exercise. Versus flexibility would be like, say, if you can like bend your body into a certain position, like where you can like, it's more to do with like, whereas I believe with like when it comes to mobility, it has more to do with like, it's hard to explain. It's like, you'd have to look at it yourself. I mean, but they're kind of like similar things, really. It's like some of these things are kind of like splitting hairs. It's like when we were talking about, you know, endurance versus stamina. It's like, because stamina, you could argue, is a form of endurance. Is how long you can sustain a certain level of activity over a certain period. It gets into like semantics, and it's like when people start to kind of go into these sort of things, and I feel like it's quite it starts to feel a bit like they're not really genuine people, that they're just trying to be a smart ass. And to be honest, I've been like into semantics before, and mainly just because I can get quite technical with things, but usually when someone's doing that, it's not, I don't feel genuine. Do I ever train in the gym? Occasionally, but I've actually gained strength on the weight stuff even when I've not been using them. So it goes to show that there is at least some translatability from calisthenics workouts and these at-home workouts that I do to gym workouts. Now, it's not perfect, but now, yeah, could I have had a heavier squat if I'd have focused on that? Yeah, but then if you focus so much on the gym, then you may also have weaknesses in calisthenics. In fact, I remember they were saying that possibly that you have a better translatability going from calisthenics to weights than the other way around. Like, there's some guys who can, you know, deadlift quite heavy, and they've never done it in their life because they got strong using their own body weight and using more challenging exercises. that work the muscles in a similar kind of way, learning progressions. And so would you like to train with me one day? I don't know. I mean, I'm just like doing my own thing at the moment. I was out the other week with Richard and I was just showing him some stuff. I was using 25 kilogram dumbbells on a bench press. Did a few reps on that. Yeah, I was doing it on a bit of an incline as well, so it wasn't like completely flat. I think it was about probably either 20 or 30% incline, because I prefer to do it that way because I'm trying to focus more on like upper chest, because I feel like if you have good upper chest, it just kind of gives you that sort of masculine kind of chest look. It's like, yeah, the problem is a lot of guys focus a lot on their lower chest and it can give them that sort of droopy kind of chest look. And remember when Tate had that kind of awkward looking chest? Hello, Faria. How have you been? Not seen you. Yeah, I mean, I already know a lot of stuff with like the gym, so I don't necessarily need to be shown a whole bunch of stuff, because like I was actually showing Richard a whole bunch of stuff at the gym and like how to train the equipment and stuff. But yeah, they say like that with dumbbell press, it's like they reckon that if you can do, let's say, 50 kilograms on a dumbbell press, that you can probably do about close to like maybe 70 kilograms on a bench press, because, well, for one, there's less range of motion on the bench press, and two, there's less stability, because when you've got like dumbbells, you got like all the kind of stability thing going on with it. But you've just got a barbell, it's more stable. So I think that might be a part of it as well. But yeah, because I remember seeing this thing about, yeah, that it's something like maybe 3/4 of what you can do on a bench press. Some say dumbbell press isn't the best, but it might not help you build bench pressing strength properly, but it can, they can sort of like build more stability, I guess. Yeah, that's good then. But yeah, I mean, like, yeah, what was I trying to remember? Like the weights I was using. I mean, I can do some like pretty heavy weights on some of the exercises. But yeah, but yeah, I'm trying to like kind of be no worries, bro. Okay. Trying to sort of like, yeah, just do a variety of different things. And I'll try different things different days sometimes, and I like to just sort of experiment and see what works. That's what I'm all about. But yeah, maybe one day I could but yeah, I'm just so what would be like your max on like a bench press then? I only ever attempted once to do 70 kilograms. Did it with a spotter there. Only just about got it up, but yeah. Yeah, it was they had to like take the weight off at the end, but I was really fighting it. But that was without any kind of arch or anything like that. I was just basically just doing it flat. They say like if you do it with an arch, then you can potentially lift more. So I've never tried to do it that way. I just tend to do it flat, and yeah. So maybe I could even go, almost 100 kilograms if I actually, did it with like a sort of arch or something, it'd be hard to tell what I could actually do, but I would hope that I could, you know, go pretty heavy on the bench, but yeah. But I'd have to have a spotter there probably. Either that or I'd have to use Smith machine, but then Smith machine isn't ideal if you're trying to test your strength on the bench press because it's going to take the stability out of it. So the exercise I've been into lately, I started doing the plyometric rows, which are like alternating grip, just kind of like varying things up and stuff. So I'll go from like close grip to wide grip. I've also done that with push-ups as well, like the explosive push-up stuff. I quite like that type of exercise for some reason. It's just, I quite like more explosive type of stuff really versus endurance type of exercises really. But arch versus flat has quite a difference with benching when I've tried. So how much difference do you feel like in terms of strength output, would you say? I was talking with someone that they were saying how when you're arching, it works your chest more isolated or something. Well, not isolated, but like they were saying how flat it can strain your shoulders more or something. I don't know. I mean, I've never had a problem with it flat, but maybe if you start to get too heavy, I don't know. But it kind of makes sense in terms of like reduced range of motion, really. But it's like the thing is, you will get some of that stretch though when you're obviously when you're doing it like with the arch. You know, you're gonna be like, but you'll see some of them will sort of like they'll do the arch and then they'll sort of like. And then what they'll do kind of thing is like, I don't know, they'll sort of, I don't know if that's cheating or whether if you're arching and then unarching as you're coming up. I feel like I struggle more when flat. Yeah, it would make sense. But I think the reduced range of motion is probably going to make it overall easier, I guess. I've never really tried it with the arch. You see a lot of these like powerlifters, that's what they do because it's allowed as long as your butt doesn't leave the bench, and that is then considered as a true bench or something. Whereas if it lifts off, then it doesn't count. Because the thing was like runner boy was sometimes it would, you know, the butt would leave, but he's been trying to do like PRs and stuff. But yeah, I don't know why he's, you know, trying to do PRs with it like that, because some people are going to be like, well, that doesn't count. So I don't know, like, if there's a reason to do that, because yeah, I don't know, because does it really count if it's not to standard? Not trying to discount what he does. It's just, yeah. So I've actually been trying out this exercise called the single leg deadlift. So it looks like this. Hang on. There's a lot of stability involved in it. So like that, yeah. So then you can do it like that. So I could use something as a resistance, right? Yeah, like that sort of thing, yeah. But yeah, it's, you can load up that very easily because of you taking out a leg from it. So with that means that you can sort of like get more out of less weight, but obviously because you're only doing one leg at a time means that it's going to take longer to get it all done. So that's where single limb exercises have a problem. If you don't have time, then doing double limb exercises would be better. Arguably, you would just load it up with more weight, or find a way to make your body weight more challenging or something. So takes practice to balance. Yeah, no, it's like doing the pistol squat. It's like, yeah, when I'm trying to do this, I feel like when I'm doing it, it turns more into like a deadlift. I don't know. I tend to lean forward a lot, probably for the balance, really. But the best thing to do is to have something to kind of like use as a counterbalance, like that. You know, like that way, you don't bend your back so much. Therefore, it's not going to be more of a hip hinge movement. So yeah, so I've been trying out the sissy squats as well, and there's a lot of stability in that as well. So the problem with some of these lower body calisthenic exercises, but if you use some kind of counterbalance, then it does help. But yeah. Like that. That's yeah, sissies, sort of like sissy squats. You've also got the reverse Nordics as well. This is a good one for your knees. That what's it called, the rectus femoris. Thank you, Macman. How are you doing, Macman? I hope you're well. So yeah, the rectus femoris is the muscle just like above the knee that's like responsible for knee flexion, I believe. That's going to be activated more during the sissy squat than the regular squat. They say that's a limitation with the regular squat because it works the other three parts of the quads, but not the rectus femoris effectively. So that's why you want to add variety into your workout. So I've been trying to learn the sissy squat, but it's okay. No worries, Macman. Take care. I'll see you again soon. But yeah, they're anyway. Yeah, so hope everyone's well. Yeah, well, I didn't say there was going to be a reveal for the card trick, did I? I just said, can you guess how it's done? I mean, yeah. I didn't say I was going to reveal it, did I? You know? I was just asking them if they knew how it was done, but yeah, people thought I was going to reveal the trick, you know? Like, yeah, people fucking stupid or something. I don't know. Whatever. Maybe not. It's just, maybe I was being a bit misleading. I don't know, but whatever. If that's what they got from that, then I don't know. Oh, they kind of like interpreted that. So yeah. So how are we doing tonight, everybody? I hope you're all well. But yeah, I'm here to promote health and vitality and all that. You know, we only have one body, so we might as well try and make the most of it. That's what I see it as. I don't want to just waste away. I was actually thinking I could use my bands to do deadlifts and sort of like train that part of the body, like the posterior chain, but you can still train a posterior chain with other exercises, like the glute ham raise is a good one I've learned as well. I don't know if any of you have tried glute ham raise, but when I tried it the other day, I did feel some, a little bit of soreness in the hamstring. So I was like, okay, well, this must have worked then. Yeah, so that's glute ham raise. Definitely worth a try. Yeah, it's not as easy as it looks. If you do it with like proper form, that is anyway, then yeah, you should find that it's actually a good exercise that you can get a lot out of. So you could just do glute ham raises and sissy squats for mostly, and then you can also do some possibly do some calf raises as well. I've noticed that my calves haven't been the limiting factor as much. I don't know if it's because I've been sort of working on improving the endurance of them, or maybe they've gotten stronger. But when I've been trying to run, I was noticing that the calves were giving out quite quickly because of like all the, I don't know if it's because of the impact or whatever, but maybe it was just that I wasn't really training running for a while, and then I just kind of got back into it again. So I would notice that within a few minutes, my calves would start to kind of ache. So I don't want to be like aching. It's not fun, is it? You know? It's like, yeah. Anyway, hope you're all doing well. So what time are we on? 10 p.m. So I'll probably get off here pretty soon, but if you have any more questions, now's your time to ask them. I don't remember that saying I like to, well, but it was something like, it's sad for a man to grow old and not see how strong his body could become. Yeah, I remember someone said that. And that's what it is, you know, because, you know, you can become old and then there's nothing you can do then other than become a friggin' like RFK Jr., but then you're just cheating yourself then, aren't you, you know? Because then you would never know where you could have gone naturally. This is why I don't agree with all the, you know, whether it's going on roids or even TRT, because you are artificially increasing your testosterone instead of trying to do natural things to increase it. You're tampering with it, with the natural process, and instead of looking at things such as stress mitigation or lifestyle changes that can, but if you try this exercise, but it's a good one for your side delts. You can alter the difficulty just by changing your position on with your feet relative to the wall. So if you angle more out, then it's going to make it more of a challenge. Take it, runner boys, long gone. Anyway, thank you for the 12 likes, everybody. Yeah. But yeah, I think we've just got to focus on what's within our control. There are things that are not within our control. Why give them attention? All you're doing is just giving it energy. Hi, Daisy May. Good to see you. How are you doing? Are you going live again later? Might drop by. To be honest, I'm not really that into all the like puzzle stuff, so I don't really take part in the crossword stuff. I'm not hugely into that sort of stuff, but I'm good, Jamie. How are you? I'm all right, thank you. Just trying to just keep on putting out content. I've been focusing a lot on shorts. I've noticed that if I just do shorts, they seem to be like, doing like getting a good amount of views on some of them. Like I've had about 1,600 views on the last one. I understand, Norris. Yeah. It's just some people seem to love it, so that's good. I don't know. I think the problem with I don't mind sometimes doing puzzles. It's just that I feel like if I'm gonna take part, I feel like I have to join the whole way through, and I just can't really commit myself to that. When people are doing things like, I don't know, I just feel like, I don't know, it's just, I don't know if it's, one of those things anyway, but try to think if there's any other exercises I should do. But yeah, it's, might do the beta alanine right now, so gonna just drink some more of that. I'm trying to just load up a bit on that to see what the effects are, see if I actually get some benefit from it. I might do the creatine while I'm at it as well. I'll just do both of them. Well, this creatine tastes quite good. It's got some like flavoring. I don't think there's really any sugar in it, but yeah, it's just berry flavor. So yeah. So at least it tastes like an actual drink as opposed to just some flavorless crap. Yeah, thank you, Daisy May. So just gonna sort this out. But yeah, you can just everyone can just like admire my body or whatever, Alright, so yeah, we're gonna put some of this in the glass. So just put it over here. It depends on the lighting. You can see the abs more in that sort of lighting you can see, but yeah, I think there's still a bit of like bloating from the food and all that. That's the thing, when you eat a lot of food, you end up with like a bit of bloating in your stomach. I don't feel sick or anything. It's just you get a lot of fluid in there and stuff. So I wake up in the morning and it'll look like quite flat, but. Anyway, all right, here we go. So yeah, I'm just gonna sort this out. As they say, don't have it all in one go because it can give you these tingles. So I obviously don't want to get tingles, but the amount that I take each time doesn't seem to be really giving me tingles. So I was wondering if I tried upping it a little bit and see if that's tolerable. I have to see what I can tolerate. In fact, I'm going to put the creatine in as well. So just, because I want to try to make sure, get it all out of the way, Get all this stuff. This is the thing when you're doing all these supplements, it's just it's a bit of messing around really, but you got to do what you got to do, really. You just got to try and make sure that you don't stop doing what you need to do, otherwise you're going to go backwards, and I don't want to be going backwards. I want to be going forwards. So, yeah. I want to keep making gains and progressing and all that. mean, I don't need to make a huge amount more gains, but I want to see where my body can go with the fitness and all that. I want to see what my potential is. So yeah, all right. I think my back has gotten stronger. I've noticed that I'm getting a bit more shape in my upper back, because that was something that was lacking for a while because I wasn't really training it properly for a while. So they're mainly doing a lot of like body weight face pulls for that, which is kind of like a narrow grip row. If you do it with a narrow grip and you sort of like kind of do that with your elbows, that's going to like give you that sort of, you're going to get some of that external rotation. It's going to help balance out like your rear delts and your upper back. So yeah, because a lot of people, like I said, are front heavy, and they have this kind of like thing of like, they have this kind of thing, but yeah, obviously you want to have that developed up there, you can see. So yeah, so that's something I've been working on a lot lately. So that's probably what a lot of my growth has been in my muscles more recently, is the upper back development. Cardio, yeah, I did actually. Yeah, I've done some like running today and stuff. So yeah, cardio is good, but yeah, I try to mix it in and sometimes, but yeah. I did some like jumping jacks at the beginning of the workout today as well. So just I think jumping jacks are probably one of my favorite cardio exercises, as well as spotty dogs. Yeah. Models do some stretches for posture. Yeah, but I think building up balanced muscles is important as well. Having the muscles in the right proportions throughout the body. Like if you have too much muscle in one part of the body and not enough in another, that can then lead to imbalances that possibly, if say for example you have too much on the front and not enough on the back, or if you have too much on the back and not enough on the front, that could possibly, I don't know if that could cause an issue, but I know that if you have too much on the front and not enough at the back, on the upper back, that could yeah, make you too front heavy. So yeah. Oh, 18-mile bike ride, that's good. Yeah, I used to like going on bike rides and just kind of, it was good fun. Because the thing with like bike rides, you can go out and you can change scenery all the time, because you can get some speed up, especially when you get out like of the towns and cities and you start flying. It's good. You know, you go up and down hills and stuff, and it's fun when you're going down hills and stuff and you get the speed up. There's kind of like a thrill of that, actually, of like going fast down the hills on a bike. It's just, yeah, there's something about that that's just, it feels like you're flying. So yeah, you don't want to necessarily do too much running if you're trying to like build muscle, but I would try to go for like intense runs sometimes of like quite fast. Whether that be sprints or whether that be just kind of more like middle distance, but I wouldn't usually go for like long distance. Not really that into that, but I like to just walk around a lot and just burn my calories that way. Yeah. Once you get warmed up, use a cycling app and get the average distance elevation. Yeah. I've got an app on my phone called, it's actually a running app. So I think it would work for cycling as well. But yeah, it gives me like my times and stuff. But yeah, it's just, just got to find what works for you really. But yeah, sometimes I would fail to warm up before exercise. Sometimes I've been trying to work on that a little bit, but sometimes I still will fail to do that. I've not had any like bad injuries or that's the thing. I've not. The worst thing I've had from like not warming up would just be like a strained shoulder or something. But I've realised that if I actually warm up properly, then I don't get that. So I remember like about 3 months ago or so, 4 months ago, something like that, 5 months ago, whenever it were, and I was going really hard with the exercise. I think I was practicing for like the one-arm push-up, and I fucked up my shoulders, I think, and I just did too much on the shoulders. It strained my shoulders, and I think it was because I weren't warming up. And I thought, okay, well maybe I have to like take some time out. I have to, do less training. But actually, I found that it was not that I had to do less training. I had to just kind of, sort out what I'm doing. If I'm doing something really extreme, then I need to be well warmed up for it. Otherwise, what's the point? You're just gonna fuck yourself up. So I learned that the other week when my shoulder was aching after trying to do again. I tried to do the one-arm push-up without warming up for it. Let's see if I can do it now. Watch this. I should be warmed up for it now, but yeah, I was trying it earlier. It's just trying to get the depth. But yeah, this is the sort of a one-arm. I just can't get the full depth at the moment. But yeah. Well, that's where we're at the moment with the one-arm push-up. But I've come on a long way from where I were. Because at one time, I couldn't even do a full single push-up. Like, I'd go part way down and I'd not be able to get to the full stretch. And I'd just be like, collapse, basically. They say like doing negative reps might be good, but yeah. So it's like I was putting out a push-up video the other day and someone said, fix your form. And I'm like thinking, well, okay, well, if you've got a problem with my form, tell me where I'm going wrong. Like, I mean, what do you mean? Well, I just feel like some of these people are just trying to nitpick. I don't think my form was even that bad. It's a lot better than what it used to be anyway. But it's like, unless you're absolutely perfect, to these people, it's like, it's not good enough. I just feel like there's a lot of like zealous kind of people out there that are like, is it zealous? Is that the right word? Or just kind of, they're very peculiar about things. Like they have to be very exact. It's very kind of, it's almost like an elitist kind of mentality about things of like, unless you have perfect strict form on everything, then it's like, that's a fail or something. Oh yeah, Strava's good for the bike apparently. Yeah. Why does it matter like what, why is one better for running and one better for bike? I mean, I don't know. So that's my back there. So I think we've made some gains there, look. I'm trying to work on like the lats and stuff. So yeah. It's hard to tell because I keep looking at myself a lot and it's like, but I think we've got a bit more thickness in the back there. So I see the upper back, I think I've filled that out a bit. Got a friggin' tan line, that's that's a side profile there. Yeah. trying to like let's try and do some kind of flex or something. Try and show that definition. Oh, Strava's got good maps, keeps a log of terrain and other cyclists in the area, races, etc. challenges. All right. Yeah. Well, I think it isn't Strava for like both or something. But yeah, or is it not as good for running as another app or something? It's like, but yeah, I don't like it when people who say there is a problem with something like form and they don't say what the problem is, particularly when you change your form for a specific goal. Yeah, exactly. This is what I mean, like, because there could be a few different things that could be going on. There's a lot of variables, and they're talking about, keeping your back straight, engaging your core or something like that. I mean, to be honest, I'm not really that anal about that kind of stuff. I'm just kind of, I just do what I feel like is right for me. I've never had any problem with it. I've never had any issues with my back doing push-ups. So I don't think it's that bad. Like, I listen to my body. If I feel like something's not right, then I'm going to have to change it. But you'll probably see the signs that something's not right and you can just change it up. It's all about being intuitive with your body. If I don't feel like there's anything wrong, then I'm like, well, I'm just going to continue that way. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, kind of thing. It's like, there's all these people that want to lecture you, but then it's like, well, if I've been doing a certain thing for so long, then I'm just going to continue to do it. It's like when Mark was saying, crunches and sit-ups are bad for your neck or whatever, or bad for your back. And I'm like, I've been doing crunches for like a few years now. I've never had any problems with them. So at what point am I going to have problems with them? Like I said, I don't think sit-ups are necessarily the best, just because they're not like a very good, I don't think they're necessarily the best ab exercise, but some exercises I think are better with less range of motion rather than, because other muscles can take over it in certain parts of the motion. But was it more intensity and more volume, the more punishing any imperfection will be? Yeah, we were talking about this the other day about form and all that, but I just feel like people get a bit too kind of obsessed about it, but I think that if you're going really intense, then strict form is more important, I would say. And if you more volume, but it's just sometimes people might break form as a way of kind of like, it could almost be like a sort of drop set where maybe your form is a bit shaky at the end of a set, as a way to kind of be able to push out a few more reps. It may feel very good and okay for now, but as you increase the load, you will start feeling the mistakes. Well, this is where just kind of adjusting when necessary and kind of like listening to your body. Like, but like, it's just like, I have been trying to fix the push-ups more, but what's that? If you do 20 to 50 bad burpees, it may be okay, but if you do 500 and my core isn't engaged nicely and I cave my back, I won't feel good the next day or the next week if I keep going like this. Yeah, well, this is where you can kind of just learn from it. This is what I mean. It's like, this whole thing about wisdom comes from experience. You know, it's like if you experience some kind of discomfort from something, then it's like, okay, it's time to stop. Because there was this exercise that I was doing and it kind of fucked up my wrist. So I was doing this because I thought it was some kind of like, so what I did is now it's okay to do that because it's not going to hurt anything. But what I was trying to do was then kind of like do that as like an extension on one side, doing like as like a sort of, I guess that's probably going to be a lot of triceps, but I was thinking whether it's a shoulder exercise as well, kind of just experimenting with things. But I found that just ended up messing up because what's happening is, as you can see, it's putting the wrist in a very kind of strained position. It's not good. So, yeah, because all that like, there's all that kind of like force going through the wrist doing that with that kind of strain, with that kind of bend. Yeah. For some reason, I don't get that with push-ups, but maybe if I did that too much, then that could start to happen. That's why some people use handles to kind of get rid of that. But that's something I found out just from, you know, trying things out and be like, okay, well, that is not a good exercise to be doing because it's fucking up my wrist. And then like, okay, that makes sense actually, because my wrist is like, yeah, if it's in that kind of bent position, like, because it's just gonna, you just keep bending it up and it's that constant tension, like I would say constant, yeah, what's it, the repetitive strain sort of thing. Yeah. There was an issue, in March during my challenge. A small detail wasn't good in my pull-up form, and I had a minor pain for 2 weeks. Disappeared over time, but better to correct early when you know. Yeah, that's it. You just learn about these things, and especially when you're experimenting with exercises, you just have to kind of, yeah, just really pay attention to any sort of like slight kind of any kind of like slight discomfort, because that shouldn't be happening. Yeah, you're going to feel burns and whatever, that's natural. But if you're feeling these aches that are just, that seem to be kind of starting to kind of accumulate, that is a sign you need to stop that exercise. So that's something that I've kind of learned really. But I'm going to do some more of the pike push-ups. So I'm going to, yeah, I'll do some, yeah, just doing some with a wide. I'll just try and show you where we're at. So, so depending on how you put your hands, it's going to work the muscles a little bit differently. So the reason I do wide more, because I believe it works more of the side of your delts a little bit more, because it's kind of like if you do an overhead press, but you do it with a wide grip. Watch this. If I do it with a narrow grip, you get in this, it's mostly front delt activation. Whereas if I go wider, you still get front delt activation, but it's going to hit the side because you see, you know, it's going to, yeah, because of the angle that you're you're gripping, you're going from this to this. There's a difference. It's the same with the face pulls as well. So you can do different grips with that. If you wider, more side, I believe, and then narrower is more rear delts, I believe. So you can try different grips, and yeah, work different parts of your muscles and stuff. So yeah. Try doing push-ups on your fists for some time. Or you're on about what is it? Fist push-ups. What's this? Once in a while, my wrist hurts when I do push-ups, particularly when I do the side-to-side push-ups. Yeah, you're on about the you're on about the archer push-ups. You're on about the side-to-side push-ups like this. I feel like that can cause some. I don't do that all the time because, yeah, I feel like there are quite a lot of impact on the connective tissue in your arms. So it's good for strengthening it up occasionally, but you don't want to do too much. So I'd say, like, yeah, because I'm watching a video on Movers Odyssey and they were talking about plyometrics and that you shouldn't do them all the time because it can, especially, I find actually lower body ones are better, but I don't know. Upper body ones, I just find, I think it feels like there's more impact. It's not that there's more impact, but it's like, might be because the muscles are smaller. So when you're getting that you're getting that impact on your arms, it's just because obviously like you're sort of like lifting up with your legs and your arms. So it's like you're getting, your whole body's coming off the ground, but when you're impacting the floor, it causes a lot of, it causes like the micro trauma to the, like the tendons and the ligaments. So so if you keep doing that, it can stress it, but it can help with strengthening those over time if you do it properly. So the other side to side, I meant which one? Sorry. Hi, Runner Boy, welcome back. Fist push-ups on your knuckles, right? So we call knuckle push-ups. So like this, you mean? Let's see if I can do it. So like this, yeah. Yeah, so it might help with like punching strength, could it? So I remember someone was saying that the knuckle push-ups are good for like, getting a good, yeah, because I remember someone was demonstrating it to me once. Different types of push-ups. Kind of like a basic push-up, but having a wide hand placement. All right. You're on about the archer push-ups. Like this one. See if I can do it, but so like you're going, yeah, wide like this. And you're going like that, yeah. Is that the one? Yeah, that one. Yeah, they're hard, aren't they? But it's a good one to like work on the one arm push up. It's like a progression to build that strength more unilaterally. Because you're putting more load onto one arm. There's also archer pull-ups that do that as well, but I don't know if anyone in here would be any good at that, but maybe Max would be good at that. But yeah, that's some quite difficult stuff. So yeah, so what time are we on? I should probably get off here soon because I've been on for ages. But I can't seem to stop myself sometimes, you know. But yeah, like I said, you know, if there's, you know, bad form, then yeah, just, you know, if you're feeling like some problems that you're gonna feel like, you know, some you might feel some pains and aches and stuff that don't seem to be going away. They don't just feel like your normal burning sensation or just like your normal DOMS, like this, you know, like the delayed onset muscle soreness. Then yeah, there's something wrong there, and you need to kind of address it immediately. So otherwise, it's just going to keep getting worse, and you're going to end up getting yourself injured. So. But yeah, so when it comes to form, I think it's just something that people need to just kind of figure out themselves. But it's not really rocket science, though. It's just, yeah, as long as you're not like, yeah, for example, you're not flaring out too much or whatever, or you're not bending up too much. But like we were saying, it depends on the amount of volume you're doing. I mean, if you're doing these high volume calisthenics workouts, then maybe that could get to a point where it accumulates enough stress to where it can start to not be resolved. The wrists don't hurt like they used to when doing push-ups, been getting stronger. Well, that's good then. You got to find what works for you. You can always try the handles as well. That can be another thing. Parallax can be good as well because you can get that deficit push-ups. Yeah. So yeah, this was like when I was trying to do the pistol squat. I just find it kind of looks more like a deadlift sort of angle, really, but because it's like my body naturally wants to go forward when I'm doing it, I find. Probably to try because of the balance. It's like my body wants to try and counterbalance it. Are you doing your restream now? Oh yeah, because you said you was gonna try it out again. Because you do need to try and get these last hours in it, but yeah. Anyway, but yeah, I think there's like nuance. So like if your form's a little bit off, then it depends on how much you're doing it. Versus like if you're doing it a lot, then that could add up. Each error can add up and then really mess you up. But you should be able to kind of just know that something's not right and just adjust it as you need to. So wherever you're feeling that, then you think, okay, well, if it's in your back, you're feeling something's not right, then it's like, okay, I need to make sure I keep my back straight. But you should be doing that anyway. But it's not that kind of but yeah, sometimes we forget to do it. So yeah, just try to be mindful of it. But sometimes these things may need to happen for some people just to be able to kind of like be a bit more mindful. So like I said, there's a whole thing of wisdom comes from experience, because if you have some kind of strain, then it's like, okay, this isn't comfortable anymore. I need to change this up because it's just going to keep getting worse. So that might be like the shock that you need to actually start to actually be more careful with it, because sometimes we might be reckless without meaning to be, but we're just kind of like, sometimes you might just get a bit carried away, and then but by actually kind of just try and listen to your body. Your body will tell you if something's not right. You've got to be in tune with it. Because a lot of people just ignore things, don't they? They ignore signals. It's like, you shouldn't be ignoring all the signals of like your body. It's like if you, for example, your body, like say, when you get that sort of sense in your kidneys where it's like your kidneys are aching, right, you need to drink immediately. So I remember I had that when I was dehydrated, and I was like, my kidneys started to ache. I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. So do not ignore your body. Otherwise, things are just going to get worse. So yeah, it's not smart, is it? So anyway, all right, guys. So I should probably get off here, but it's been a good chat. So I will see you all tomorrow. I might come on in the morning, not sure yet, but peace out, everyone. Bye for now.